Yeah. And that's how it is. One. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Hi, welcome to the National Prince Drive's online news, the Stienberg Review. I'm Robert Stienberg, and today we have a very interesting guest here with me, and he's none other than Mr. Raji's son, who is actually from the carbon conservation, and he's going to tell us more about the social trends with me right now. And well, Mr. son, how are you?
Good afternoon, Robin. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Now tell us more about how does the social network change the world with the term hashtag, and what is hashtag?
So the panel today is going to be looking at a bunch of different social entrepreneurs and how you can use social media to actually create communities of positive influence. So the interesting thing about social networks are if you seed them with a certain type of characteristic that often is amplified by the social network. The idea behind it is if you look at the advent from Friendster, LinkedIn, all of the different types of social networks from way back when, I don't think there's yet been a social network really focused on doing good. Obviously with the explosion of Twitter, the use of hashtags has also created ad hoc communities around certain trending topics. And so the idea was, what if you created an application or a community or a hashtag which actually focuses on some aspect of doing good, So what if, for example, our work for the last 6 years has been saving rainforests. So what if we created a community of rainforest warriors, all connected by social media, to then provide us with a support network and a community and a tribe to protect and further conservation globally.
Now, how does your organization so far seen any progress, and what sort of competitive advantage does this whole network, as you say, has?
Yeah, look, it's a great question, Robin. I think that we've moved beyond where we can differentiate between social and marketing. Word of mouth has been marketing since day one, and social media has just provided us now with the leverageable tools so that all media effectively has some element of social. And it's kind of the same as, this year, e-commerce. I think people should just drop the E. Like, there's no longer e-commerce, it's just commerce. It has to be a multi-platform strategy. So coming back to your question, I think that now, as a company, we have found we've run into a lot of roadblocks because the government policies have not worked. Government regulation around climate change has really died since the global financial crisis. So we have to innovate, and the people that we have to speak to are the voters. The people who can either vote with their votes or vote with their dollars. So my goal this year is to change tact and to create a whole new element of social engagement where people who want to protect rainforests, who want to look after animals, who want to do good, can find a common space and have a common app that we're going to be talking about later on today, where they can actually connect with like-minded people and make a difference. Because sometimes I think that there's this saying like, I will if you will. That's previously what's made us as humanity a collective. But now it's I won't if you won't, and it's suddenly becoming a system where we're all segregated and more isolated. So the idea as a movement and as a company, and to put it in your words, kind of a unique competitive advantage, is how do you move your consumers from being outside the wall to being inside the wall, and you're all working together to try to achieve the same outcome.
Yes, and folks, for those who do not know, this week is the Social Media Week, and we want to thank AKA, who are the organizers of this wonderful conference and make this interview possible.
Shout out to Ashley, who's doing a great job.
Yeah, that's right. And Ashley, thank you for doing a great job with us. And also, how can our viewers, contact your organization? Do you have?
Sure.
Is there a Facebook or website?
Yeah. So the easiest is Dorji-san, Dorjee. Just Google me, or dorji@carbonconservation.com, or dorji@gmail. Also Facebook, facebook.com/dorji. But look, I think that coming back to one of your earlier questions, the three big trends that I see for the next decade, the three S's. One, social media. Two, smartphones, just the explosion of smartphones. And three, this idea of sustainability. Because are we, as a planet which will soon have 8 billion people, right? We crossed the 7 billion mark last year. when we have 8 billion people, are we going to keep fighting down to the last fish or the last forest? Or are we going to figure out how to work together to actually create a balance and a harmony with the environment that we depend on?
Now, you're speaking about, sustainable. Do you think the planet is big enough for everyone?
I do.
And how many do you think? Can you sustain 10 billion even?
I do. So the short answer is yes, I believe humanity can save itself. And I believe that we can sustainably live on this planet in harmony with our ecosystem. But can we all survive if we all consume like the average American today? No. So we're going to have to look at taking mature decisions where we have to decide, well, if we are going to want to have the lifestyles that we have now, where we drive, SUVs and where we eat with disposable wrappers and we live quite unsustainably, then we have to have fewer of us. But if we want to have the number of us that we have today, then we have to learn how to make it a cradle to cradle, a system where everything that we use comes from the waste, which then gets used again, so a sustainable loop. Or we need to find ways to live more efficiently.
Now, what's your approach or perspective on wealth distribution? Do you think that everybody in this planet deserves to have an equal wealth distribution?
Sure. I mean, look, I believe in equal opportunity, but I'm definitely a capitalist. I think that markets are good. I think that entrepreneurs or people who have luck and wits and so on should be supported and should be allowed to achieve. However, I do think that we have run the risk of this pendulum swinging where the top 1% control the vast majority of wealth, which obviously is unsustainable. And so I think that there always is a balance. But kind of looping that back in, I think that any system which supports huge inequality in terms of distribution of wealth is doomed to fail. Like, I just don't think that that is sustainable. But I think that how it ties into sustainability is we have to find a way to innovate the way that our systems and our system of government, for example, is not putting forward the bills and the legislation and the frameworks we need to make the world sustainable. So that's why we're reaching out to the consumer. Like, how do we actually get consumer movement on this?
You spoke about social networks and the obstacles that your organization face with policymakers especially. Mm-hmm. Now, do you think policymakers in the future will have to adapt social networks?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Obama specifically had, grassroots campaigns, and that's why he won 2008 and also 2012. He did a Google Hangout with, people who, there was something in the order of 250,000 questions put to him, 2 million votes to finally boil it down to 9 people to have Google Hangouts. Social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, these are critical tools for all electioneers. So absolutely.
Now, how important social media is today for your organization as well as for institutions, universities? Are they able to adapt and allow bloggers and individuals, students, and the public, members of the public, to blog and to even to do, what should I say, advocate issues freely? Yeah,
look, from our organization perspective, we're just starting this year to shift our focus from being more focused at institutional deals where we have to deal with government investors and like the owners of forests. But we're now shifting to an online space where we're also looking now at how do you enable and empower consumers and advocates. But the short answer is every company that has, a decent sized revenue base needs to have some type of way of connecting their customer service with their brand advocates. It's just a fact. So the short answer is I think everyone should be doing it, particularly SMEs and big businesses, as it's a competitive advantage.
Great, and so the future is going to look bright for social networks. And folks, thank you for joining me here at the National Green Choice, the Stienberg Review. I'm Robin Stienberg with Mr. Roger Sun, the CEO of Carbon Conservation. And also please log on to Social Media Week for more information. And once again, thank you for joining me. Thank you.
No problems. Thank you.
No problem. I just had I had an interview with Jack Taylor the other day.
Who?
Jack Taylor.
Jack Taylor.
He's a chef from California.
Okay. So what does he do? Sorry.
He's a TV celebrity chef.
Okay.
He's an American Asian, and he spoke about that.
What did he speak about? Like environmental stuff.
Well, yeah, a little bit here and there, and it's pretty cool. I like it.
Nice.
He's and he spoke a bit about I did ask him about more modified foods
Yeah.
because that's the most,
GMOs. Yeah.
yeah, that's most controversial.